Meredith Marakovitz alongside Aaron Boone. Aaron, just a couple days away from the full squad reporting. Can you just describe your excitement now that you know baseball's coming back in 2020?
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, we've been working real hard behind the scenes to kind of get ready for this moment. Obviously, we're walking into some uncharted waters. But I really give everyone behind the scenes, Doug Behar and our training staff and front office of just really doing a lot to get things ready and prepare us to hopefully hit the ground running here in the next couple of days as we kick off summer training. So, but I'm really excited. I know the players are, and hopefully we can go out and live up to what we had hoped we started in March.
And there are clearly guidelines in place to try to keep everyone safe. How do you go about doing the scheduling for summer training, summer camp, as they're calling it?
Working hard with Carlos Mendoza, obviously our bench coach, who does so much of the planning and is so good at that. So we'll work closely with the guidelines, with trainers. With how we have to, space guys out and work things out. We feel like we've got a pretty good plan in place. We know we're going to have to remain flexible as we go, as things change. But I do feel like we're ready to, kick things off and hopefully make the most of the 3 weeks we have building up into the season.
Have you had to think outside the box at all? Because there's only one field. It's not like you're down in Tampa with multiple fields as far as getting guys ready in training in maybe different ways.
Yeah, we'll look to be pretty aggressive. We feel like we have a pretty good handle on our guys and have kept tabs on them and spoken to them. So we feel like we have a decent idea of where they are, kind of physically coming in. But that's something that we'll have to gauge in the early days. And I feel like overall we're in a pretty good spot coming in. It's going to be different than a normal spring training. We're going to, put a lot of value on live reps, pitchers facing hitters, hitters facing pitchers, getting live defensive reps, trying to build guys up as safely and as smartly as we can. But we are going to put a value on competition from pretty early on in camp.
How do you manage the pitching staff? They were ramped up during the first spring training, and then they dialed it back a little bit. Even though they were throwing, I imagine that's a major concern for you guys.
Yeah, no question. Again, that's something that we've tried to keep tabs on. Matt Blake and Mike Harkey have done a really good job as far as, logging information, logging exactly what they've been able to do on a daily basis, knowing what guys have been able to do from not only a throwing standpoint, but from a working out standpoint. I feel like most of our guys come in physically in a good spot to get ramped up. But, we'll also err on the side of caution as far as making sure we, as best we can, build guys up safely and smartly. And it's going to be important to lean on our depth along the way.
Especially early on with the starters in particular, do you have in your mind a universal pitch count? Will it vary by pitcher, or is it more how is he feeling when he's on the mound? Is he laboring too much?
Yeah, it'll vary by pitcher. It'll kind of depend where they are, and obviously as we start here in the next couple of days and with our starters as they, get into live batting practice or sim or inter squad game situations, it'll be a steady buildup. I do feel like most of our starters come in ready to hit the ground running, ready to face live hitters, probably ready to go a couple innings. And we'll see how the progression is over that 3 weeks. We won't force anything, but we'll try and safely build them up to when, the 23rd or 24th hit, we're ready to go.
Brian Cashman said yesterday that he expects, as long as nothing goes wrong over the next 3 weeks, that Aaron Judge most likely will be a part of it on opening day. I know you were down in Tampa when he was there. What did you see from him? Does he look okay in the batter's box?
He does. Everything to this point has gone well. There's no question that the time off, I feel like he is used wisely as far as being able to keep himself in shape, working hard day in and day out, while also giving the injury in the rib the chance to heal. And and by all accounts and by our latest, imaging and everything, it looks like it has healed how we hoped. And that's really good news. And as he started to ramp up here these last couple of weeks with swinging, we do feel like he's ready to come in and be a full go. The big challenge now will be, how does he handle and bounce back day in and day out, and how is he able to build up? And that's kind of the question remaining now with Aaron.
Because it's a sprint, do you need guys that can go every day, or do you have the luxury of saying you can go one day, off the next day, on one day, off the next?
Everyone can be a little bit different. It's certainly a fluid situation, especially when we're talking about guys that are returning. One of the luxuries we have when you look at our club, if we're healthy, we feel like, we have 14 or 15 guys that are starting type players. So we're always going to, especially early on, err on the side of caution with these guys and make sure we're not pushing them too much. But also understanding the value that and knowing that these guys in their mind will want to come out of the gates knowing that it's a shortened season. But we'll try and be as smart as we can and read every individual on an individual basis.
What are your expectations for Aaron Hicks?
Aaron's been doing really well too. I think his rehab process has gone according to plan. Obviously he got down to Tampa a few weeks ago and has been hitting and throwing. And so he's another guy that comes in and will be, we'll put him into live game situations. And again, just seeing how he handles the buildup, how he handles the daily grind and the ability to bounce back. That's something with Aaron and with the TJ surgery that we'll have to monitor. But we do feel like he enters here in a good spot.
You mentioned the depth. You mentioned the roster. How do you see this roster shaking out for opening day?
We'll see. Obviously we start the season with 30, and then get it down to 28, I believe, a couple weeks in, and then 26. So, I do feel like it'll, in a lot of ways, declare itself. Hopefully we're healthy and everyone's ready to go in the next few weeks, and then we have some tough decisions, obviously. But I feel like it'll declare itself here over these next few weeks, and know that we're excited that some of our guys that needed to heal up have had that opportunity, and we think that'll serve us well moving forward.
Two young arms that are potential options in Davy Garcia and Andschmidt. Do you expect them to play a role?
We'll see. Obviously, they've impressed. Davy was such a great season last year, and both guys came in to camp and performed really well. And we were excited to see them. And after seeing them for 3 or 4 weeks or for whatever we were down there, they validated a lot of those reasons that we're excited. So we'll see. They're going to be part of our 58 or so, I believe, to start. And, we'll see how it unfolds.
There's also some new rules because of the circumstances, runner on second base and extra innings. Do you like the tweaks that they've made here in the 60-game season?
I'm fine with it. Not sure how I like that. If it became something permanent, maybe it would be great. I'm not really sure yet. I know kind of behind the scenes, we're trying to kind of break that down and see the best way to handle those situations. Obviously, being a road club or a home club, the strategy changes a little bit. But I do think it makes some sense for this season as far as trying to keep, that random 16, 18 inning game from happening when we're in the situation we are. So I'm totally fine with it.
Aaron, you're a guy that's been around baseball your entire life. You're used to doing things a certain way. With all the new protocols, do you think it will be difficult for guys to police themselves against things that they're used to doing, such as social distancing in the dugout?
Well, that'll be probably the first and biggest message that we have, that I have to our team and that we have as a group. We're in this for the next, hopefully, 3 or 4 months. And there's going to be things that are challenging. There are going to be things on a daily basis that, frankly, are probably a nuisance and are going to get tedious and annoying. but it's all part of where we are. And it's, you know, I talk to our guys all the time about, you know, the adversity that you face in a season, in a 162 game season, and that adversity is inevitable. We didn't account necessarily for this kind of adversity, but I do feel like our guys are built to handle this. I feel like they are equipped to handle this. And the expectation is that we need to handle it and make sure we're looking out for one another, taking care of one another, being smart, not only at the field, but away from the field as well. And that will be, you know, one of the overarching messages that we try and deliver almost on a daily basis.
In talking to your team over the past couple of days, what has the feeling been surrounding the 2020 Yankees?
Guys are excited. You know, it's been a long grind to get to this point in not just baseball terms, but obviously just all that's going on in our world in 2020. So my sense and my overall sense from the guys is that they're really excited to get back and playing and trying to chase down that championship. You know, that's what we're showing up to do. That's going to be our focus. And I feel like our guys will have that singular mindset. And my sense from them is that they're excited to get rolling.
I know it's out of everyone's control with the virus, but do you think the league will be able to make it through the season and the postseason?
I hope so. I mean, you know, we'll see. I mean, we're getting ready for that. I mean, we're planning ahead like we've got a 3-month season and then hopefully a month in the postseason. So that's what we're preparing for. That's the hope, and hopefully we can all kind of do our part, not only as a team but individually, to give us a greater chance at pulling this off.
You mentioned the planning aspect. You've mentioned planning a lot throughout the course of this interview. When do you start planning for that opening day lineup? Are you already thinking about scenarios, writing out the lineup?
I wrote down a couple actually yesterday. Yeah, again, that's also something that'll kind of declare itself, you know, obviously the matchup, you know, who's available, you know, where guys are at physically, you know, it's some good choices right now, and hopefully it remains that way in the next few weeks.
I have some time. You can go through all of them if you want to.
Nah, we're good. We're good.
All right, maybe next time. Aaron, as always, thank you so much for the time.
You bet. Thanks, Meredith. See you soon.